Hello there, Rabbi, and I see you've set your Passover table. Happy Passover.
Why, thank you. I'm getting ready to set up for the Seder.
And I know people who go to a lot of trouble to get ready for the Seder, including one friend who actually had their house redesigned so they could have a dining room large enough to seat 20 people for this Passover meal. And I know people who go around the house with a feather, sweeping up dust, and they take all of their leavened items and put them in a cabinet and then sell them to their neighbors for $1 and then buy them back for $1 after Passover. So technically they don't have anything. I myself don't see the need for all those things, but I, of course, as we said, I'm a Gentile. So what is the deal?
All our kavod to all the people that you mentioned that redecorated their house, that take a spoon and a feather and find all the chametz and then burn it, or those that put their chametz in a cabinet and then sell it. Because I've brokered and set up contracts for selling chametz. Kol hakavod, all the honor to these people. If that's what you're doing because you want to do it, do it. Joe, I have my talus in a twist over the number of people that will require us, want us, put us down because we're not doing those things. And that's what I want to bring up today. You know, it's one thing to say, cleansing my house of chametz means something to me. Putting the chametz away means something to me. I'm not doing it because I believe God demands it, because God does not demand it. God does not want that. God wants you to observe the Passover by doing justly and to walk humbly with him. Very different idea. The Passover is a ritual to remind us of how we should treat the stranger, how we should treat immigrants, how we should treat our neighbor. The goal of Passover is not in the picayune observance of minutia. And that's what keeps my talus in a twist. Do what you like because it's meaningful. Have your family over. Go through the entire Haggadah. Do it till midnight. Don't eat for 2 days. Whatever's meaningful. My problem is most of those people look down upon those of us who aren't picayune and scrupulous in observing these obscure rules. This all stuff was made up. It was all made up. The commandment is to remind us of the exodus from Egypt. The commandment isn't to redecorate your house. The commandment isn't to sell chametz. Those are reminders. What's Passover about? For us to sit down and remember that we were slaves in the land of Egypt. For us to sit down as a family and remember our people's history and how we felt when it was done to us. Therein lies the key. How we feel so that we don't do it to someone else, so that we don't use our money, our jobs, our place in society to put other people down. That's the goal. Now, if doing some of the things you mentioned leads you to act that way, then definitely do it. Don't tell me, don't write about it in magazines, don't put it on YouTube that it's wrong unless you do it my way, unless you do it this way, unless you do all these things. The focus is when you walk out of the Seder, how do you treat other people? How do you vote? The prophets, the Hebrew prophets taught us what's the right thing to do. So after coming out of the Seder, after listening to politicians running for every office in the known universe, what are they supporting? Do the principles of the Passover Seder help me choose the candidates I'm going to put in a public place that make policy? That's the question. And that's what Passover is about. And that's what the Seder is all about, Joe.
So the Kiddush cup is half full, not half empty. That's what you're trying to tell us.
And if it's only half full, it's not full enough. I think the Kiddush cup should be filled to the top because we're supposed to drink 4 cups of wine at the Seder. And it's a time to rejoice that we're free and remembering what it felt to be slaves.
Well, God bless and happy Passover, Rabbi. I'm going to take that note about the 4 cups of wine because I've been limited to 4 sips in the past, and I didn't know until just now how important it was to have a little bit more wine with my Passover. Thank you, as always, for your wisdom, and I hope your tallis gets untwisted soon.
And I'm looking for my viewers and listeners to untwist the tallis. And when someone says to you, there's only one, or you didn't do it, or it's wrong, you just look at them and say, no, you're the one that's wrong. I'm observing Passover.